Climate scientists are this Thursday morning hitting the panic button over the global climate. New research shows last month was the hottest September on record, and by a huge margin. The reaction? Understandably alarmed. One scientist even going so far as calling the findings gobsmackingly bananas. Now, this is an issue much larger than just last month. In fact, this has been an entire summer of heat extremes. August was the hottest on record, July the hottest month ever recorded. An onslaught of heat that put many Canadians' health at risk and fueled wildfires here and around the globe. With Nicole Mortellaro, let's take a look in this. She's our senior science reporter, and she's looking at the story for us today and the new research that's out. As we look beyond the summer, we're just hearing a lot about record-setting heat pretty much everywhere, Nicole.
Yeah, you know, as you mentioned, we are coming off the hottest summer ever globally, and Canada actually is coming off the hottest summer. It's one of the hottest summers, if not the hottest summer that we've experienced, which is interesting because parts of Canada, including Ontario and Quebec, actually saw average temperatures. But still, even with average temperatures in part of the country, we're seeing a warming, like extreme warming September. So, you know, I'm gonna give you some numbers here, okay, if you can bear with me. September has beat out any other temperature anomaly ever recorded. As you can see there in the graph, that's by a big margin, 0.93 degrees Celsius above the 1991 to 2020 average for September, and 0.5 degrees Celsius above the temperature from the previous warmest September, which was only set in 2020. And what makes that interesting is that, you know, there's a global phenomenon called, you know, the El Nino Southern Oscillation, and that causes El Nino, that is a Pacific warming in a certain part of the Pacific, and La Nina, which is cooler. In 2020, we saw a cooler temperature. So this is particularly concerning. The month as a whole was about 1.75 degrees warmer than the September average for the pre-industrial reference period. So if you consider 1850 to 1900. But usually we talk about fractions of a degree. This is phenomenal, and it's particularly concerning because, you know, 2016 was the hottest year on record, but what's happening is it looks like 2023 may actually beat out the 2016 record, which is crazy because 2016 was particularly warm, and 2023 they thought, well, maybe there's an 80% chance, but it looks like it might be even warmer than 2016.
And hence that reaction. It was an American scientist, very unscientific language, gobsmackingly bananas, to describe what's showing up in the data, Nicole. So this study looks ahead to the future and makes some recommendations, but it looks at the fact that we're in the middle of an El Nino period. So what are the extra concerns about that?
Yeah, so what's interesting is the El Nino started only in July. So that warming that we're seeing is actually not because of El Nino, or very little, you know, because of El Nino. But that means that 2024, El Nino is expected to continue on into the winter months and particularly into the spring. So what does that mean? Maybe 2024 is even going to beat that out. And that's concerning because there are deep consequences with that, including, you know, we saw a crazy wildfire season across Canada, unprecedented. We've seen droughts in other places, floods in other places, and those things, those weather events could be expected to carry on, and that is of particular concern.